Okay guys, so today we're continuing on the 360 Slim. I wanted to start today with doing the disk drive. Of course, I ran into a problem immediately when I realized they are not the same disk drive, not even close. Just the way they're put together, and the shell that I have came with the XCM Ghost case that has that window on the top. So as you can see, this is the new one we're using. The board is just completely different. Sides are different. The top slides on this one, and then there's just 4 screws around. This one has a couple random screws and then screws on the side. So we got the top pieces here, and as you can see, this one's thinner, and then there's a bottom shell that adds a little bit more thickness to the drive. This one goes all the way down, so it's taller, as you can see, and the bottom piece doesn't stick out at all. This wraps over the whole thing. So I can't swap this case over, but what I decided to do was just cut it out anyway. We've got this piece comes off. As you can see, they have their own top where this is actually inset in here. And then it's got the 3 holes. They leave these in here obviously to still hold that center piece that has to hold the magnet to hold your disc in place. So all I did was take this off, flip it over on this one, trace it out, cut it. Now we still gotta finish it off obviously. But basically this is just gonna, and there's no inset for this to set into, but we can literally just glue it or tape it right here, and bam, now we got the see-through case on the DVD drive. So we'll clean this up, put it all back together. Well, actually we'll clean it up, and then we're going to be painting it, then we'll put it back together. Okay guys, we got this one cut out. So this is the XCM one, this is the new one. Paint looks a lot better. This one was painted a lot of times, and the last coat didn't react well to what was underneath it, so it looked crappy anyway. But you can see if we put this over it, bam, got our own XCM DVD cover for the new Xbox. Okay guys, we got the 2 bare motherboards here, the bad one, the new one. Gotta do a little switch with the heatsink and the Waterblock. So we will have to take the X clamp off. That will take this one off, clean it all up, put some new paste on there. This one is just 4 screws. And then we'll put that one on the new one, put it back together. Okay guys, got the broken motherboard put all back together inside the other case, so that's out of the way. This is the new motherboard back into the metal frame that was water cooled, that already had the holes drilled out. Got a hole drilled out at the top. That's where the pump sits and can go in through right next to the Wi-Fi. And basically I'm gonna clean all this up, set this aside a couple days as we wait for some more parts to come in before we go any farther with the wiring or putting all the stuff in here. Alright, since we're still waiting on stuff for the Xbox, we're going to finish up this video working on the PS3 Slim a little bit. There's already videos of me taking this apart and everything, so we're not going to go over too much detail. But basically, I just drained all the fluid out. I took out the red temperature sensor, we put in a blue one, the dial style. I took out the other fan. I think I want to use this. It's a UV reactive blue fan. The LEDs are disconnected, so it's just a blue, reactive fan. Puts a UV LED strip on the inside under the fan, and kind of change the orientation of the reservoir a little bit. I also installed this button here. So in every Slim build I've done of the PS3, I've just tapped into the power supply, power back here. That's 5 volts for this. The problem is it's a standby 5 volts, so it's always on when it's plugged in. And obviously it's going to burn out a lot faster that way. Now to solve that, you see it's plugged in right now and it's off. I went ahead and bought just a little pack of momentary switches. Put one in right here. So hold it down, it's going to turn on, give you your reading, let go, shut it off. That way it's going to make this last way longer. Also, you know, it's not going to be just on all the time. You can have that off and just see the glow of the fan and the fluid and whatever. So I still have to file down the edges under the trim piece on here so this can go in all the way. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna move the radiator. Here's our fan. I have two different kinds of these, the low and the medium. I think I'm gonna put the medium in, even though it's a little bit louder. The other one's pretty much silent, but this one is just so much airflow. You can really feel the cool air coming out of the back. So might as well make it worth it since we did all this to keep this thing cold. See, on the inside everything's the same. It's just going to be a whole bunch of wiring. But go ahead and turn it on real fast. Bam. So there's no LEDs in the fan. Well, there are, but they're disconnected. It's just glowing in the UV light, and then we've got the UV light back here. We'll put in the UV blue fluid. So as you can see, temperature display still off unless I put this down. Obviously there's no fluid or anything in there right now, and this one's attached to the water block with a G1/4 fitting, so I think that looks good with that off. Then you can kind of check it. Bam. So we're going to finish up the wiring, put this back together, and add some fluid to it. Alright, got the PS3 Slim all back together. Don't have this in all the way yet. I still have to kind of trim. See these little parts that stick out on the four corners under the trim? That doesn't allow it to sit in all the way. I just have to file those down. But I can pop this out. There's enough wire. Do that later. Anyway, I've got the fan, radiator in, all the tubing, reservoir. There's just one cable that comes out here. That's for the UV light that goes into this tower port there in the reservoir. So I started filling up a little bit with distilled water and then filled it up with some of this UV blue clear fluid from Primo Chill. So we'll go ahead and plug it in. Just like that. Got our red light on. Test out our temperature. 24.9. Go ahead and turn this off. Now you can hear the pump on. You'll see some bubbles here. It's still, you know, I just filled it up. Unless I kind of tilt it this way, you won't see the water moving much. There you go. So anyway, we're still got to kind of bleed the system out. But with the UV light on, you can see this is kind of glowing blue now. The fan's very bright. It's because we got the UV strip right underneath that. And you can kind of even see from certain angles there's green tubing on the inside that goes from the pump to the water block. And you can actually see that's UV green. So you can kind of see that through here. Camera doesn't pick it up as well because it's catching the fan blade spinning, but here we go. Got everything blue now for the PS3 Slim. Alright, so like I said, I still gotta finish this up here, and next up, we'll keep working on the Xbox Slim and the other Xbox. We'll get into some other projects. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you're interested in this. Thinking about putting it up for sale. Leave a comment, like. Thanks for watching. Alright, so I've been playing Grid here for about an hour, just doing a quick temperature test. And we're still only at 28 Celsius. Still cold coming out of here. This isn't even warm. This is still real cold. Got this controller here, which is working. I can't seem to get this one to work. This is the chrome one that I wanted to go with this one. It actually has LEDs in the controllers. You can modify them different colors. But if I can't get it to work, we'll probably just reshell another controller. That way we've got one that matches with this. But that's it. Just a quick update.